Is this the end to a global girl group or the beginning of a new era? Who knows? Let's talk. Hi guys, welcome back. We're going to be talking about a certain girl group that is making some definite loud noises in the pop culture scene at the moment. Katseye, a 6-member girl group, has definitely been under fire recently because shit going on. Before we get into the deeper stuff of Katseye, let's kind of introduce the members and whatnot, and let's get a feel and what my feel of the group was before we start talking about the current standings of the group. First, Katseye is a 6-member girl group under Hype X Geffen. They were the love child of a Netflix documentary, and they were created to kind of be a global girl group that we needed for, like, you know, nowadays culture, I guess. It was just more or less, they were the blooming of like a Western pop sound infused with a K-pop, you know, jam. I don't know how exactly to explain it. It was just the birth between two companies that are from the West and the companies that are from Korea, and we're trying to birth out something that could have been and is still great to this day, but are they being underused is the real question. Like I said, this is a 6-member girl group. The leader is Sophia. Our all-arounder is Megan. Our main vocalist is Laura Raj. I don't know how to list her full name, but Laura Raj, global pop star. Anyways, our next member is our main dancer, Danny, or Daniela. And then we have our visual, which is Manon. Or Minot, I'm sorry. I pronounce her name wrong always, and I'm so sorry that I do that. No disrespect to her. I just need to get over how I read her name is how I say her name. I'm sorry. But Minot. And we have our maknae, Miss Yoonchae. Like I said, this group was formed on a Netflix documentary / like reality show / I don't know, like contest to see who could form into this, you know, 6-member girl group. This is not anything out of the blue. Sorry, I got a phone call from my bestie. Anywho, like I said, this isn't anything out of like the normal for, you know, like, I guess the music industry. The X Factor did it with fucking One Direction, you know. I've seen multiple survival shows create a lot of different K-pop groups like IZ*ONE, Wanna One, you know, there's a whole bunch of girl groups that were created, and girl groups and boy groups that were created through survival shows. But these girls were formed on a survival show called Dream Academy or Popstar Academy. I think the name changed, I'm not too sure. I've yet to watch it. I don't think I plan to watch it at all either, because from what I've heard, it just paints all the girls in very vicious lights. But that's going to probably come up a little bit later on when mentioning certain things to do with their status and careers and whatever the fuck, how they intermingle with each other and whatnot. But yeah. But like I was saying, they were created on this show called Dream Academy, and they were the girls that got, you know, more attention and more love, made it through the ranks, and they debuted as Katseye, which was Laura, Minot, Megan, Danny, Yoonchae, and Sophia. And these girls took the world by storm. Like, literally, they had such, I think, a very successful debut. Their song, Debut, was their debut song. And it was, you know, kind of a wacky craziness of, like, it was very real. It felt very K-pop, but also it felt very American as well. Definitely, I think this is one of that era definitely had some okay songs, but it wasn't very diverse in, you know, showing who they are. Debut was on an EP along with, like, I believe 5 or 4 other songs. Tonight I Might, Pretty, Touch, what was it? What is the other song? My Way. I forgot. I don't know why I forgot My Way. That's one of my favorite songs. But yeah, it didn't really show off nothing too impressive. It was definitely just a basic like introduction to the girls, which is fine to do for an entrance EP / debut type of songs. But their main attraction for Katseye was when they did their first ever comeback, which was with the song Gnarly. Now, this is maybe some of the first times of seeing Katseye. This is probably like the first time like a lot of people got put onto them at once, because Gnarly was a dumpster fire for the first day, and then everybody listened to it for a little bit and was like, oh, this is kind, I love it. And I'm definitely one of those people too. I did not know what to think of Gnarly when I first heard of Gnarly. It was very, very experimental, definitely, and it's very much is just noise music, but it kind of gives after a while. There are a lot of people saying in the media that like Gnarly shouldn't have gotten the much love and attention it should have, but I don't think that at all. I think it has its moment, and I think it doesn't. It may be just a little bit like nonsensical, but also it's kind of just music. It's fun. It's something that definitely gave them their legs and made them pop out like fucking stars. But with that, Gnarly had its own EP with it, which is called Beautiful Chaos. Also, if I didn't mention it before, their first EP was called Sis, which is like, I think, soft and strong. And this one was called Beautiful Chaos that Gnarly came out on. Now, Beautiful Chaos definitely had a range of different sounds. I think this is very much, it was very much a good EP, and I think a lot of different music videos showed off the strengths of different members and different songs, showed off different members, but it definitely, there were still some songs on there were like very much like nothing songs. They were very much like nothing burger songs. They had no type of anything to them where it was just like, oh, this is like banging pots on pans and we're fucking twerking on the beat, That's kind of what it gave a little bit, but they definitely had a lot of substance to them. To me, I liked a lot of the songs on the EP. Sorry, I couldn't think for a second. But anyways, Beautiful Chaos, I think some of my favorite songs actually came from Beautiful Chaos, to be honest with you. MIA, Game Boy, Gabriella. I think honestly all the songs on that EP are some of my favorite songs. I can listen to them multiple times over. Current day, I get kind of like sad listening to them because of what's going on in current day media, but we can talk about that a little later, or actually it's probably my next part right now. But before we jump into that, it's like my experience with Katseye, I didn't really know what to quite think of them when they first debuted. They definitely were a group. I didn't know how big they were going to get and how much I would fall in love with them, because they are fucking the moment. They are so funny. They're a lot of the thing is like a lot of their enjoyment of like enjoying them, it doesn't really come from their music. Their music doesn't really give a lot. Like I do find myself singing their songs randomly, but it's not like a song where I'm just gonna be like, this was my song for the moment and it spoke to my soul. Like, it's not gonna be like that, but it's kind of just like a song that's like, oh, this is fun to listen to at the moment. Like, I can probably listen to Gnarly later in my life and be like, oh, this is the music we were listening to, kids. Like, it's kind of like that. But anywho, my experience with Katseye was I fell in love with them over time. Definitely, I think they have done the work and done the growing that they needed to do, and I think that they bloomed out of these two EPs that they released in that section of an era. Like, these two EPs, they were so fun, and so they had so much energy to them. Nowadays, I don't know what the energy is, and I'm kind of scared for their future, to be honest with you. I guess let's get into the drama section of it. Alright, so you made it to the current drama section. So at the current moment, the group is very much under fire for making nothing music, which with their most current song, which is Pinkies Up. Yeah, and another bit of disheartening news of racism in the group. And it's very sad and very touchy and it's very sad to see this going on in the way it has, Yeah, I guess let's talk about it. So, if you don't know, at the current moment, one of the members, Minal, is on hiatus. As of right now, we really do not know if she is going to return to the group. We don't know if she is going to, depart. We don't know if she's going to stay with. We don't know. After there has been so much speculation and so much shit in the air with what's going on, and it's because of racist actions and, people digging up past events and putting it on her head now. And it's sad that her company has done nothing but kind of encourage it instead of defend her from it, Yeah, definitely kind of sad. If you're wondering what some of the statements were, like I said, to do in the Dream Academy. In Dream Academy, from what I've gathered from watching different clips and hearing people's different perspectives on the show, I have not watched the show. I don't know everything that was discussed and what was talked about, but there was a certain edit placed on her head, or a certain, archetype placed on her head, and that was of the lazy girl. And that is very much problematic in itself, because one thing she's not is lazy. And I don't know if Dream Academy would have swayed me on seeing it, but I have not watched Dream Academy, and I've watched this girl work from debut to now, and I can say she's not lazy. I don't think she's lazy. She doesn't give lazy. She gives fucking star. And I might just be a mucking, Minal lover, it's Minal stan, but she gives star. She doesn't give lazy. She is what the group needed. She is the main visual for a fucking reason, It's definitely tragic that she's getting this title placed on her head, and a lot of fans are definitely digging into her and saying that she is lazy and that she doesn't put as much effort in as the other girls. She doesn't do what the other girls do, or that she's not participating in a lot of different things like the other girls do. And that is just so shitty to hear, when she has tried to prove herself multiple times over, and she has done it multiple times over. And it's not her fault that she has, a weak immune system. It's not her fault that it wants a day off every once in a while. It's not just because there's a lot of different narratives in the media where it's just like the other girls are very much hard workers. They've been doing this shit for a long time, and Manon is the novice, and she hasn't been doing this as long as the other girls, so she is just a normal person. It's kind of like if you put yourself, if you were to think about yourself, a normal bitch who fucking works a 9 to 5, you go to school or whatever the fuck you do. You take you yourself, that is not like a professional dancer, professional singer, whatever the fuck, and they pop you into a system that is very hardcore in its training methods and very, intensive on your body, and they just expect you to fucking perform like a star, and they want you to be there every fucking time. There are gonna be days where you feel like you're fucking being beat up by a fucking bat. I'm sure of that. And to expect this out of this girl that was scouted to have scouted, which was mean they were looking for girls, they scanned the fucking interwebs and fucking found this beautiful girl, and they were like, I want you in the group. I want you to come into our show, and I want you to try to show us what you can do. So you're telling me you picked a random girl that didn't really have much experience in the music field, and then you expect her to perform like she's a top 1 ballerina, dancer, go-go bitch, whatever the fuck you want to do. You can't think that. That doesn't make sense. But even though with that looming over her head, she still managed to show up and show out. I've watched the performances that she's been a part of, like in the early Dream Academy days. She has, even though she wasn't like, she missed some practices because she was sick. She missed some practices because she was in pain. Even though she did miss some work, she showed up, and when it came to the day where she had to show out, she did, and she showed up great, and that's what carried her. She was an underdog, but the thing is, she proved herself. I mean, she shouldn't be the underdog any fucking more. She shouldn't have to continuously prove herself amongst the other girls because they're just top 1 A1 stars, right? Because they just do everything perfectly. They don't. They mess up. They miss notes. They miss whatever the fuck they need to do. Sometimes they miss. And to bash on this girl who hasn't had that much training and be like on her ass for what and who of no fucking what is unnecessary and not right. I got heated for that section. I got heated for that section. But yeah, as of the current drama, over the past, I guess, year or two, there has been a lot of different actions taken that have seemed very targeted and very unnecessary that have particularly happened to Minot in our group. She has been left out of projects. She has been left out of the current comeback because of her hiatus, which I guess is somewhat understandable, but the way they're doing it is very untasteful and very just like, can you give us some information on why you decided to take this route in, you know, promotions for this comeback, other comebacks, you know? I have watched a lot of different K-pop comebacks, and for members that have been on hiatus or go on hiatus, they at least involve them in some type of way, either whether it's in promotion pictures or whether it's for, you know, like they were planning to come back at some point, you know, like they have a position for I'm sure they do have a position for her in the song, but it looks very practiced, as if they were only going to do 5 members in the fucking song. And the thing is, the way they're doing it is very distasteful in a way, because they're putting her in certain promotions for this thing, like they did interviews and whatnot. They're showing her off and what she was going to look like in this comeback, or what image she was going to take on for this comeback, and kind of just like jinxing us when they actually dropped the music video for Pinky's Up, and then jinxing us when they did the announcements for Coachella that she's not going to be there. I don't know if jinx is the right word. Jipping kind of more or less fit there, but like jipping us out of the, like, you know, everything in that part, and just, you know, riding off of like, oh, yeah, she's not gonna be there. They tell us that last minute. Like, how the fuck you knew a lot of bitches were gonna come and just to see if she's gonna come back. That's what you were trying to do, the whole bait and switch type of shit. Like, you're gonna bait us in, make us think that she's coming and being there, maybe, possibly, and then trying to pull a carpet under us, and then fucking reveal that it was only 5. Sorry, it's gonna be LT5. And it's just fucking shit. You can't do that. It's not right. Yeah, and as of the current moment, people are saying, the leaks are saying, is that something is going to come out on April 30th. At the current moment, it's April 13th. Yeah, people are saying that something's going to come out on April 30th, like an announcement, or something that's coming from her, or something that's coming from the company, detailing what is going on with her status and what is going on with Minot. And it's been a shitstorm. It's been an absolute shitstorm through this whole, you know, ordeal of her hiatus. And a lot of people have shown that they back this girl up so much. They support this girl so much, and I'm so happy that she's getting the support and love that she deserves. That her company is not supplying her with or anything like that. If you don't know, the announcement for her hiatus pretty much said that she's going to be stepping away for like health reasons and blah blah blah. She came out, I don't know how much longer later after that statement was revealed, saying that she's healthy and she's fine, and things that happen out of her own control. Things happen out of her own control, and she really doesn't know what the future entails. But she loves us and blah 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 blah. You know, that is very telling of what's going to fucking happen. You know, very telling. And her being very slight of word, very just like, there's certain things that she's saying that are signaling are very intentional, and she has done certain things that I'm sure she's gotten a little bit of trouble for, because she's liked certain creators' posts, she has liked, showing certain things off on her Instagram story. She's definitely done some signaling where she's just like, hey, I'm back here, but this is not of my choice. And I want you to know, all the people who are just like, you're making a big deal about nothing, she blah, 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 blah. Y'all are a bunch of fucking sheep. Y'all are a bunch of fucking ignorant sheep who want to follow this narrative that she was lazy and that she didn't do what she needed to do, and that she looked like she didn't want to be in the group, that she looked like she didn't want to be there, that she was being... Y'all are choosing and or either just believe this shit that is being pushed out to you, and that is fucked. It is so fucked. If you could see the shit we're seeing, if you were being treated that way, you'd be fucking appalled. You'd be, this is outrageous. I can't be treated like this. This would be outrageous if I was treated this way, But, it's not you, so you wouldn't you don't think that way. And at the current moment, I'm noticing something at the on TikTok. Even though there's like a wave of people saying, this new comeback sucks and it sounds like noise music, there's pretty much a wave of people that are just like blowing this song up too, or it's just like, it's lovely, I love it. It's pinky's down, bitch. Pinky's down. It's not giving. Okay, I'm gonna say this now, just to get it over with, so I'm not thinking about it on my head. My thoughts on Pinky's Up is that it's a song. I'd be lying if it did not get caught up in my head, even from the leaks. I did hear the leaks a little bit before. I did hear the leaks a little bit before it actually dropped. And I would be lying if I said Pinky's Up didn't get stuck in my brain. And I think that's very much what its job is doing, is to get stuck in your brain a little bit, and it fucking, become an earworm. It's supposed to do that. So it's done that to me, and I've listened to it a couple times. I'm gonna be honest with you. I've listened to it, and I've danced to it. I've fucking heard it on TikToks and whatnot. I've jigged to it a little bit, because there are certain parts of it that are catchy, and there are certain parts that are fun and nice. But knowing that this comeback feels so weird and so just shitty, and the air around it is so just like, ew. I don't want to associate myself, and I feel bad for liking it even a little bit. I feel bad for fucking listening to it the little bit I have, because I just don't want to. If this is just like a, bump in the road of their career, and this is just like a small bump, I don't want to remember this era at all. I don't want to remember this era at all, especially if this is just like a small hump in their career. Maybe this is just a rock in their path, but still, this feels like this is going to be something very defining if this date does come and she leaves the group, or continues. It's going to be a very defining comeback era, which is, I just feel like I don't want to remember it. And it's so sad that she personally said that she's so excited for Coachella, and that she wants to, it's her dream. She's been coming to this festival for multiple years just as a fan. And the fact that they took that away from her, or either it got snatched from under her, is flooring. It's fucking so shitty. Yeah. I guess I'm going to go to the next section. Now, for this one part, it's going to sound a little bit like, are you with or against it? I'm with it. I'm definitely with it. But, the commentary that's been made on this group is definitely necessary and needed, and I definitely am 100% behind that this girl needs to be protected, and that girl needs to be fought for, and, she definitely deserved everything that she's gotten, all this love that she's gotten, and all the support that she's gotten. But you know, this pulling Katseye under a microscope, I would be lying if it didn't if I didn't think it was going to create if she does come back, this is going to create so much negative energy. You know, I feel like the air of the group would change because so much has happened in this short amount of time. The air of everything that has gone on is not going to feel the same anymore. You know, it's not going to feel like the girl group we kind of fell in love with. Everything that's coming out from them at the moment is very PR guided, and they've not been able to fucking do lives even. From what I've known, they've not done any type of live streams. They've not done any type of really connecting with fans outreaching and whatnot. And you know, they've not even. They're being very PR guided, and I definitely want to say don't hate on the girls, but also, who knows? Who knows? Who knows? I'm not gonna hate on the girls. I don't. If I don't like someone, I just don't talk about them anymore. I just distance myself away from them. But the girls do not deserve any hate. But I know they're definitely feeling the wave of anger that is associated with their group name now. They're feeling the wave of animosity. They feel the wave of, you know, shit. I'm sure they didn't plan. Not at any point did they ever plan that we're like, you're gonna get rid of this fucking member and she was gonna go fucking get love. We didn't plan this. You know? I don't think they planned to get fucking hated. You know, I don't think they planned to get fucking death threats. I don't think they planned to get fucking anything. I don't think they did that. And I don't want the in dynamics of the group to be fucked up, but there's a lot of shit that's going on. Fucking Danny's dad coming out of the fucking blue and saying shit about OT5 and blah 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 blah. This girl needs to be left behind. Da 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 da. Who are you? How could you? And the fact that people have said he spoke to her before making some of these statements and blah blah blah. It's made it. I'd be lying if it didn't make me view some of the girls in certain ways. You know. And you know, it's definitely. None of this this is very much alleged, and very much a lot of this stuff is, you know, me just gathering certain things from the internet. A lot of this stuff is speculation, but you know, still, her dad coming out and saying all this nasty, vile shit about one of her teammates, saying that she doesn't need to be in the group and blah blah blah. They need to move on without her. You know, Daniela and Minot are roommates. You know, they were kind of one of the, you know, friendships that I did enjoy in Katseye. They seemed like they got along very well. They seemed like they were up there. They seemed like they got along fairly well. And the thing about this now is there's no way that this didn't put a sword in their relationship. You know, hopefully it didn't, you know, definitely. And also the whole thing at Coachella with you know, them doing her parts and whatnot, and you know, in the MIA finishing part, Laura licking Megan was so weird. I'm sorry, it wasn't very tasteful at all. I didn't find that cute. I didn't find it attractive. I didn't find that, you know, sometimes queer baiting works, but you know, this wasn't the time it worked. You know, the energy wasn't the same, because even though queer baiting is fucking wrong on multiple levels, I'm not gonna lie and say I haven't fell for it and been like, oh, they're cute. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie and say oh, well, that's wrong. I don't want that. They need to go to jail for that shit. I'm not gonna say that. It's been cute. It's been cute with all the shit they've done, and people, you know, the shipping and shit like that. It just added into that whole world of it. And the thing is, it wasn't Megan and Laura's thing. It was Minot and Laura's thing. They pulled this up for the one night at Lollapalooza, and they've done it ever since. Now Megan and Laura are doing it now. How weird. I don't know. That was my little, think piece on Katseye and the current drama that's going on at the moment. I definitely want goodness to come out of this situation, but that thought and hope is getting a lot bleaker as the day goes on, and as the mini commentaries and things like that and more news comes up out of the blue, it's so disheartening. It's so just like, ugh, damn it, I'm watching another fucking girl group burn in the fire of hype. First New Jeans, now Katseye. These companies are shiesty as fuck. And fuck hype. Fuck Geffen too, if they're any, and if they either have equally parts, I pick up things randomly, I'm sorry. If they have equal parts in the fuckery that's going on, fuck them both. And we already know Geffen's done some shit in the past where they had a girl group they debuted and they took the only black member out of the fucking group and said, we're not looking for the urban effect that you're giving to the group anymore, and we're gonna be taking you out of the group. Delete. And where's that group now? Where's that group now? Tell me. I don't know. But let me know what you think about the whole Manon situation, or Minot, sorry. But yeah, let me know what you think about the whole Minot situation. I definitely think this is a firestorm, and it's a shitstorm, and every type of storm that's fucking bad. It's definitely so sad that this shit is going on to this girl group. And it's so sad that, they had such a great, they're all coming off the tails of their best era at the moment, and now they're in talks of disbanding, or saying it's over for them. This is the end of their career. I can only I can only imagine what the girls are actually going through. You see their faces, and sometimes they make little smirks or whatever the fuck like that. And it's just they must be kind of in a degree of hurting in some type of way. I hope they don't have vindictive feelings toward Minot, but who knows. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed today's video. That was me talking about Katseye. Yeah. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.